let's see, Wednesday. No, I haven't showed my face in a while. Just trying to figure some stuff out with the channel. Just being motivated. Like, I've recorded lots of footage, but just don't have the to edit it. So I'm heading to my chiropractor's office. I've been really stressed with this whole elevator accident. So here's my story time for you guys. I hope I make it on time. They don't open till 2. It's 1:51. Takes me about 10-15 minutes, but it is what it is. Anyways, so we'll start with my attorney emailed me saying the chiropractor wants to take lead with my care as far as like what pain management doctor I see, yada yada. So just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna back up. A couple weeks ago, I went to see my attorney to I'll let this window up, get updates on my case, because when I saw my pain doctor, my old pain doctor that I used to see a while ago, but when he left, I ended up seeing my new doctor, which is the female pain doctor. But since I got hurt, she will not do litigation. So when I saw the neurosurgeon that I used to work for, he recommended I go back to see my old doctor, which I was fine with. So I went to him. He suggested that I need like 2 different types of, I need an epidural and an ablation on my neck, which are 2 separate procedures. I need at least 2 different types on my back, because the elevator fall has like messed my back up worse. And now in my neck, now I have a bulging disc in my neck. So I was like, okay, look, so like right now they file my Medicare, and once my case is settled, Medicare will recoup the money that they paid for that went towards the accident. But I'm still stuck with my 20%. So I was telling him, like, hey, that's going to be a lot of money to pay for the doctor's fee, the anesthesiologist, and the facility, because this doctor doesn't go to the actual hospital anymore. He goes to like a freestanding surgery center. So I don't have wiggle room to make payment arrangements like I do with the hospital. So, he was like, my attorney was like, proceed. I told him I really don't want to go through it, but like literally, like I've had headaches every single day. Hence why I look the way I do right now. And the pain is just so unbearable. From the headaches, my neck, my arm is like super weak. My back is like, I feel like a million times worse than what it was before I ever had any kind of back surgery. So he was like, go ahead and get, scheduled. And the pain doctor was like, I'll do whatever area you want first. And that we would kind of schedule it like a month apart or something, the injection. So I called I got up the next morning about 8. And I'm scrolling through the news, local news, and it was saying like 2 doctors were indicted in the area where I used to work. And I'm like, who is that? Being in the medical field for 15 years, like pretty much know all the doctors. So this doctor that I'm seeing has been indicted for, I was like, it was identity theft and opioids. Like he was tons of them. So at this point, I'm like, what the heck does this mean for my case? This doctor also sees my husband that's done his injections. So I let my attorney know, and he was like, well, let me investigate, but right now, if they're willing to schedule, go ahead and schedule, because it's just indictments, not the actual sentencing or charges or trial, So I'm like, okay. I scheduled my epidural, which is supposed to have been for Friday. Now my chiropractor went to talk with my attorney yesterday, and they've decided that he wants to be the one that handles, and he wants to send me to someone else, which the group he wants to send me to, I don't care for that group. And I get it. It could be a blessing in disguise when it comes to my care and, you know, my case, because let's say he gets charged, you know, then what? I still would have to be stuck trying to find someone else. But I guess I was kind of like safe with him, despite what he did and despite other things. Like I found out because I called my friend that still works for the neurosurgeon. And, you know, she was like, well, yeah, he had to go to rehab. A lot of things make sense now that I look back, that I guess I just didn't pay attention or think that that was even, you know, that he had a drug problem. But I felt like now, like when you see him, he's like a whole new person. Like, I feel like everybody makes mistakes. And then it's like when you have that gut feeling, like when you actually trust somebody, you know, so I was like really upset because I was actually like crazy saying I'm looking forward to getting an epidural in my neck, because I'm so tired of every single day having a migraine. And I mean, when these things they're debilitating to the point to where yesterday I was doing stuff in the office for track paperwork. I might have been in there for like 30 to 45 minutes tops. By the time for me just sitting there looking at the computer screen and doing, you know, the typing that I had to do, it was a wrap. And I was so over it last night. I told Mike, I was just like, you know, he's like, well, it might be a good thing, you know. And I was like, I get it, but I feel like the chiropractor, he's upset because he was like, how did you even go to the neurosurgery? Because I didn't send you to the neurosurgery. And I'm thinking to myself, first off, I don't need you to send me to anybody. I know people, and I can make those calls and say, hey, let me get in with, you know, him, because I used to work for him. So therefore, I don't have to go through the steps sometimes of like normal waiting on referrals to get in with certain doctors if I have, I'm sorry, with the sun, if I have a relationship, you know, with them. So that was like aggravating in itself. And so I just had to call to cancel the appointment. I'll get you guys out of the sun. Cancel the appointment. So like I told Michael, like I get it, but now like I've been in so much pain. This chiropractic is not working. I do decompression where a machine like pulls your neck for you, which it feels good at the moment, but when I stop, the pain is not gone. And I'm not expecting pain to be completely gone, but I do expect that, you know, at first I was like, oh, it's like 30% better. And I'm like, no, like I'm going backwards, because I feel like I have so many other issues within my body that makes my recovery so much different than the average person. And it's aggravating. So it's like now I have to wait for you to send the referral, which I feel like he's gonna pussyfoot around, excuse my mouth, because he's talked about doing referrals that he's never done because he wants me to keep doing treatments. And I'm like, no, I can't physically keep doing this. Like you were saying, oh, epidural will be fine, we can do it in conjunction together. And I confirmed with the pain doctor. He was like, yeah. He was like, you know, just have the epidural Friday, you can go right back to decompressions on Monday, and the chiropractor agreed, like, it helps them to be able to do more with you. So, you know, I was like, okay, cool. And now it's like, it's a halting point, and I've got to just hurt more and figure out what he's going to do. So that's where I'm at today. And, you know, I had an email sent ready to go from my attorney, but I waited because I was like, I'm going to go see what he's talking about. Because I can't keep doing this 3 times a week when it's not helping me. Like, I get when I had some traveling time that it was kind of difficult to, you know, get my schedule together. But, like, I've been consistent since the middle part of April till now in October. And I'm, like, over it. Like, more than you guys know. So, that is my story time. I'm going to come back once, you know, this appointment is over to finish. Hey guys, I did not come back on when I left the chiropractor, and I apologize. I just, you know, as soon as I got done, I got in the car and I called Michael, and you know, he kind of had to calm me down, and because pretty much when I got in there, the doctor was like, the chiropractor was saying he didn't know I had already had an epidural, even though on Monday I told him I have an epidural scheduled for Friday. And I told him I really didn't want to see those doctors that he's recommending. Because I remember the one female that Michael was going to see when he first got in the car wreck. She was saying like she was going to do epidurals, and they do them in their office without sedation. Who you finna stick in the neck without sedation? So I told him, I said, I will go to the Concepcion because I've already canceled my appointment with the other guy. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. You should, you know, I didn't, you know, think you had to cancel. I didn't know. Da, da, da. So I left a message for my attorney because I want to hear his side of, do you think I don't need to go through because this chiropractor prefers referring people to this group because they send him patients, or is it because of the situation with the indictment? And if he knows more and he feels like, okay, it's the indictment and I just don't feel like it's a good thing, then fine, you know, that's, I get it. But if it's not that and I've already canceled my appointment, I'm trying to, you know, I prayed about it and gave it to God, but I just wanted to get you guys up and let you know. So that's where it's at. My appointment my epidural is canceled. We've decided to not do any more physical therapy because it aggravates my entire body versus helping me. So we're just doing the adjustment and the decompression on my neck, and they pretty much, if you've had like a CT or MRI of your brain and they have that little contraption that you put your head in, it's kind of like that, but they put a strap over your head and the machine literally like pulls from like the back to like pull your neck. It feels good while it's happening, and you're like, oh, it feels so good, but as soon as it stops, it gives me no relief. You can see my eyes are like super red. My head hurts. Like, got home from there, we had to, you know, I don't think you guys know, but we We now teach kindergarten through 2nd grade at church on Wednesday night for children's church. So this was like effective like the 2nd of October. But we did do a couple classes in September, but October started a whole curriculum that they're doing. So me and Michael both were like miserable and in pain. His knee was really, really bothering him. So we were both on the struggle bus tonight. So we're on day 3 of our Shred 10 diet with Juice Plus. It's going okay. We're not like 100% doing what we're supposed to do. But the first couple of days are always the hardest. So today I ended up having to do like grape juice just because like I felt shaky this morning, and I didn't get up until like 11. That's how bad like my night was, in pain, tossing and turning. What else? But we're still losing weight. Like, we're not like being horribly bad. Like Michael had rice the other night. But he's lost. As of yesterday, I lost 2 pounds, 2 or 3, 2. I think it was 2 pounds, and he lost 3. So we're still losing weight, and it takes a process, even though it's like a straight 10 days. But we continue this past the 10-day mark, and it starts to get easier. But then guess what? We're going out of town the 3rd week of this month to go see little Mike graduate. He's doing medical field for the Air Force, and his ultimate goal is to be an internal medicine doctor. But right now I can't remember the term. It's pretty much like a PA on the civilian level, because he has his NPI number and he can write prescriptions, but he doesn't have to report to an actual physician to do anything. Like, he can even write narcotics. So Air Force, military stuff is always a little different. But yeah, gotta go to that. And in the same week I have a women's retreat, so that week's gonna be definitely tiresome. So I just wanted to pop back on and say I didn't forget you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and edit now, so this video could at least go up sometime in the next couple days. But hopefully I'll get back to my normal. It's just mentally I just was not in a good headspace. When you go through stuff, you're overcoming one thing and you get struck with something else. And setbacks are not always easy, and not always, not everyone can handle them well. I think I do pretty well, but like I had got to the point to where I was just tired of smiling. I was tired of like putting on a brave face when, mentally I was cracking and my health was, pretty bad. I still owe you guys hidradenitis videos because that's been through the roof, and I don't know what I want to do. I did see the rheumatologist, I think it was back in September, and I told her my symptoms were still, like the joint pain, the fatigue, certain things are still there, and I really wasn't like understanding it. And she's like, well, we get new labs, which my labs were all good. And but one of the things she mentioned before the lab work was like, oh, well, I can put you on Plaquenil. Like, what part of my chart don't you see I can't take Plaquenil? When I took Plaquenil, I dropped 70 pounds in 3 months. I was sick as a dog. And my husband was like, well, why, if she doesn't see the lupus, it's not there anymore, blood work shows it's not, like, why would she even offer to put you on medication? I said, I have no clue. And, frankly, fibromyalgia, there's nothing you can, like, do as far as, like, I'm not, steroids or nothing like that. I'm not going to take any of that crap. So it's kind of like, it's a waste of time, but I'll go because I'm supposed to go. But my spot in my head, it has not grown back. The hair where I was going bald. So I'm way overdue to see the dermatologist, so I need to schedule with him so he can do a biopsy of it, so we can see where we stand with that. I know my hair looks a mess. Like, I have a hair appointment Tuesday. Random squirrel. But yeah, so it's just a lot. I'm supposed to see my lung doctor, but I had to reschedule that one because apparently I have a Medicare balance. Like, I would pay every time I went, but like the first of the year you have like $100 and something co-insurance or something, and I could have sworn I paid that at a different doctor. It's always like who gets it first, but now they're saying I owe them like $160, and I'm like, I got other stuff that I'm trying to accomplish to be paid off. Like, my last car note is December, and I'm so happy, so happy. So I gotta get that paid down, but that's real life. With all these medical bills, I have tons of medical bills just for my 20%. Like, so I pay when I can pay, and if I can't, I can't. Like, you know, household stuff right now is like the most important to get stuff paid down, to be debt free in the next coming months. You feel me? So, alright, I will talk to you guys a little later, so be blessed.